I'm really excited about State of Loci. I'll tell you what it is. It's VR training program, uses the method of Loci. Method of Loci is not novel. I can't patent the method of Loci, nor can anyone else. If they do, somehow I'm just going to ignore them and let whatever happens happens. I have lots of strategies for a lot of different outcomes that are not human. So I don't care. If I have if I see something that's good for humanity, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I try to stay within the boundaries of the law, but who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. If I'm too surprised, I just stop caring, because I consider them lawless at a certain point. I'm not concerned about their accusations of me being lawless, because it does matter to me. It really does. So State of Loci is a method of Loci. Basically, it generates a 3D, it's like a dungeon generator, like Diablo. It's like a dungeon generator, except it's 3D. Based on scanning, you take your phone and you scan textbooks. I would expect that you won't. I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and go to a library and steal copyrighted material. But you sit there with your phone and you just flip through pages of textbooks. You can do it rather quickly. Flip through a chapter if you don't want to sit through the whole thing. I'm also trying to see about getting with manufacturers to create a device that will do that faster. Although I think some may already exist on the market, so I'm probably just going to utilize that and just be a third party retailer of their merchandise, just to show people, hey, you can do this with it. So yeah, that's but the thing is, when I used to make trance, progressive dubstep trance. I lost all my music 4 times. I just decided to become a software engineer instead, because I just lost my music too many times. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do it. I was very patient. The 4th time was it. If you think about how, serious when people are into like trance and making music and stuff and being a musician, it's like really serious. I thought I did really well. I thought I did excellent. 3 times, lost all my music. A little panicky, but just like, what doesn't hurt you makes you stronger. Again. 4th time I said, this is this isn't it for me. I'm meant to do something else. I'm going to go become a software engineer. But I see, the thing is, I still experimented with trance and FM synthesizers and binaural beats and stuff. I accidentally ran into a frequency where I basically, my head just hit the table. And it's moreover a method for executing frequencies, where I was listening to it and my head just hit the table. I had to stop, because it just made me pass out, just from the way that the sound is being executed. And what I realized is that I can use this and refine it to lower people's brainwaves and basically get them thinking on a level geniuses do. And we can do other things too, like manage their concentration, help their memory, things like that. So State of Loci, probably inspired by Armin van Buuren. I don't know, as far as infringing on Armin van Buuren's brain, that's not what I was trying to do, because it's in this place where state of trance is like kind of a generic term. And I wasn't thinking about Armin van Buuren when I made it, but I listened to Armin van Buuren a lot. So I don't know if he has a problem with it. I'm sure we can work something out. But I just saw it because of being put into a trance and using the method of Loci. I call it State of Loci. Just State of Loci, not a State of Loci, just State of Loci. And basically what I'm trying to accomplish is significantly speeding up the efficiency of your brain's ability to process and store information, and to where it makes it seem like time is going by for what was only 30 minutes seems like 4 hours. I have actually been in these states before. That's how I know it's possible, because I do a lot of meditation to maintain my sanity. I do go into meditation and prayer a lot, and what I'll do is I'll sit on my couch, I'll lay on my couch, and I'll sit there and basically go into a deep trance to clear out the noise in my head. And you know, I think it's only been 30 minutes, it's been 4 hours. So that's kind of the opposite. Yeah, that's kind of the opposite. We're trying to go in the other direction here. Basically that it's only been 30 minutes and it feels like 4 hours. And I'm trying to, it's going to be gradually stretching. I'm trying to make it unnoticeable, gradually stretching a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And AI learns about, as you're learning and going through a house and things are happening in the house or in a building, because it's automatically generated based on the content that you scanned or the content that you download. There's going to be a store for third parties, for manufacturers of textbooks. We're giving them a place to sell their textbooks in this form, where a memory palace is generated based on the user specifications and how they like to see things. That's the premium, though. By default, it's going to be configured to maximize on learning based on scientific studies. But if you want to change the environment more, customize it, you have to subscribe, because it's going to be a free app initially. You just download the app and start scanning textbooks, or buy from the store and do it that way. But if you want to customize it, you got to subscribe to it. So basically it stretches you just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. And the goal is to make it seem we're actually speeding the content up. We're speeding the rate that the content is being displayed up. We're just not like telling you when and how. And there are micro tests, there are unit tests, and then there are exams. But along the course of how the information is delivered and how you have to repeat the information back to the system in these small ways, it shouldn't have this, by the time you reach to the exam, it should be moreover a good feeling instead of an anxious feeling. And on top of the fact that, well, I don't want to say that, schools might pick it up. Schools might pick it up, and you might be doing real exams on it, so they might pick it up. So I don't want to say that, but that it doesn't matter. It matters. It matters. They may pick it up. I don't know. I'm just making a product, and companies and organizations can figure out different ways to use it. So that's what State of Loci is. Basically, based on Kim Peek, I have determined that we can get people to learn a lot faster than they currently do. Just the human brain is capable of that. Obviously, Kim Peek's brain is not like other brains, but there's a lot that we can do to help rewire your brain through visual and audio input. So that's what State of Loci is. WeaponizedDiplomacy.org is what it is, what it says. Basically, it's a Christian organization. We're just taking Yeshua's words and researching methods to execute them in different ways across the environment, because they're abstract, like bless them, Christian, pray for them despitefully use you. It's more like a container, right? Everything that we do has to stay within these boundaries. Very abstract boundaries, so we can do a lot. But for everyone's sake and for the best outcomes, keep it within these boundaries of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, his instructions, what he said to do. And so, we're developing methods across disciplines, neuroscience, marketing, psychology, physics, to basically create communication bridges between, just call them actors in the environment. And the primary issue when you have so much in common, as far as staying alive and your wants and needs, is that you either are not in tune what's best for you, because success is centralized. There are things human beings need, and if they had, would increase their efficiency in living and surviving, and doing well in complex scenarios. And so we can tap in on this centralization to success and find routes to help people understand each other. That's the primary issue, is that they don't understand each other, either from not having their own best interests as mind, or not actually understanding. Like, there's just like, if they could, there's a barrier in the communication. There's a communication barrier. So we're creating communication bridges where we look for methods to analyze a human being ethically, and I'm sure there's going to see ethically is it really depends on the context. What's done ethically in a doctor's office is a different ethical than what's done in combat situations, and it's a different ethical than what's done in marketing. So there's going to be just a lot of different methods to stay within the boundaries of Yeshua's words, and some of them can be very direct in neuroscience, and others are more targeted towards communication and analyzing a person, optimizing your heuristics, things like that. Inferred brain scans. See, it can get into a kind of a, maybe people would call it gray area, where basically you're educated so far, you're looking at what a doctor would look at. But the thing is, and you're basically seeing past people's HIPAA rights, right? Through your education. The thing is, though, we can't put laws on this. I mean, you could argue with me, you could go ahead and put a law on it. I'm just telling you it's not going to work out. Because it's a part of the pattern of our survival and welfare that we're able to do that. You can't stick barriers there. We're saying you're not allowed to succeed. That's going to cause problems, small, but exceedingly growing problems throughout the system. It's a chaotic system. It's gonna cause problems everywhere. So, and then we're reaching that also. Inferred brain scans is something that I've actually mentioned in the past, and that's one of the first things I'm going to have AI be researching, are methods for inferred brain scans based on body language, ultradian rhythms, things like that. And this is towards the purpose of educating an individual on how to do this, so they don't need any technology. They just are in any situation, they're able to infer brain scans through their what they're looking at, as far as the person's biology that they can see in front of them and their behavior in front of them, and then they can make decisions on what to do from a neurological level, which gets very complex. So we're probably going to be, abstracting a lot of complexity, as Stripe put it, to a psychological level. And so instead of coming into a situation with guns and bombs and missiles, we are coming into a situation with love. It's just that it's executed on exponentially more educated levels about the environment than it has been in the past, to where it makes you look like wizards or Jedi. Is something I want to go ahead and mention. I don't mean to infringe on George Lucas's thing either, but I wasn't even thinking about that either. I have a reason. I have like very concrete, analytical, critical reasons I make decisions, right? It just ends up looking like different things. I didn't do that. I know it's improbable that I wasn't influenced by it, but I at least wasn't doing that. And I ended up was basically this decentralized research organization looking like, after so many years, not even very many years because of AI and it's speeding up progress significantly, are looking like a republic of wizards. I didn't do that for the Jedi. Marketing people and communications people for some reason have a thing about Star Wars. I think I understand why, because basically we're going into real things that are already touchy to like get people to understand, and they're hitting very deep in religious levels, and they're sticking swords in their hands and making them violent. Based on my experience with marketing communications people and how they don't like Star Wars, that's what I'm getting out of the situation. And honestly, I think it's warranted. This is Star Wars, this is Christianity and Taoism and Buddhism, and then they got swords in their hands. So, I can't really I like Star Wars growing up. I just ran into that. But I'm a pacifist. I don't agree with wars, or I can't carry weapons because it's a violence magnet, because of the tactics that I use to defend myself are peace oriented and love oriented, and my hypothesis is that I'm supporting a lot of people just through my existence in the world and my work, and very hard work that hasn't been seen, at least by very many that I know. And my hypothesis is that I'm supporting a lot of people. I can't carry a weapon. That's why I found it really interesting that Jesus told them to carry swords after being around him that long. He says carry swords. I don't know why I told them to carry swords. I just think it's a really interesting anomaly. Told them to carry swords. Because I can't carry a weapon, because it's a violence magnet. And then I think about the Visigoths in Rome, and how he said that this is going to be destroyed. I'm not judging Jesus or anything like that. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. I don't understand that part about carrying swords. That's like the best that I have. But anyhow, thanks for listening. If you got this far, I really appreciate you. Thank you.